True happiness begins in the present moment. Happiness is not something we chase in the outside world. It is something we awaken within. According to Buddhist wisdom, true happiness is not found in possessions, achievements, or future goals. It is found here and now, in the present moment. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This timeless teaching reminds us that peace and joy can only exist where we are, not where we were, and not where we wish to be. Too often we become trapped in regrets about the past, or anxiety about what lies ahead. We replay old mistakes or worry about things that haven't even happened. In doing so, we overlook the only moment that truly belongs to us, the now. When we are fully present, we open ourselves to the beauty of life as it unfolds. We notice the warmth of the sun, the sound of the wind, the simple breath moving in and out of our body. Even the smallest moment becomes a doorway to peace. Living in the present is not about ignoring our responsibilities or forgetting the past. It's about learning to let go of what we cannot control and embracing what is right in front of us. The more present we become, the more alive we feel, and the closer we come to discovering the quiet joy that has always lived inside us.
The transformative power of compassion.
In the heart of Buddhist wisdom lies a simple but profound truth. Compassion is the key to inner peace. It is not just an act of kindness toward others. It is also a path to healing our own suffering. The Buddha taught that when we open our hearts to others with understanding and empathy, we naturally dissolve the barriers that keep us isolated and disconnected. In giving love, we receive love. In comforting others, we find comfort ourselves. There is a story of a young monk who constantly struggled with guilt over the mistakes he had made in the past and fear of what might go wrong in the future. His teacher, noticing his troubled mind, gently pointed to a tree outside and said, "Look at that tree. It does not cling to what has fallen. It does not reach for what is yet to bloom. It simply stands, rooted, present, alive." The monk began to understand. Peace is found not in clinging to the past or fearing the future, but in being here now, fully, with compassion. Compassion begins with presence. When we are truly present with someone's pain, not trying to fix it or judge it, but simply holding space for it, we create a sacred connection. We say through our actions, "You are not alone." And in doing so, we remind ourselves that we are not alone either. Helping others, even in small ways, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, brings light into their world and peace into ours. Compassion softens the sharp edges of suffering. It reminds us that we are all part of something larger, something deeply interconnected. When we live with compassion, we not only make the world gentler, we also nourish the seeds of happiness within our own hearts. And in that quiet blooming, we begin to understand what true joy really is. Embracing simplicity, the path to inner freedom. In a world that constantly tells us to want more, chase more, and be more, the Buddha offers a gentle yet powerful reminder. True happiness is not found in abundance, but in simplicity. He once taught, "The root of suffering is attachment, and attachment often begins with the belief that we are not enough, that we do not have enough, and that joy lies somewhere just beyond reach, in the next possession, the next achievement, the next thrill." But Buddhist wisdom turns that idea upside down. It teaches us that peace is found not in acquiring more, but in needing less. When we simplify our lives, physically, emotionally, and mentally, we begin to see clearly what truly matters. Simplicity isn't about giving everything up. It's about letting go of what weighs us down so we can make space for what uplifts the soul. There is a deep and liberating power in realizing that we already have enough, that we are enough. When we detach from endless craving, we free ourselves from the exhausting cycle of desire and disappointment. We begin to enjoy the quiet beauty of what is already here, the warmth of a cup of tea, the smile of a loved one, the stillness of the morning. Embracing simplicity invites us to slow down, to be intentional, and to find joy in the ordinary. It teaches us to savor moments instead of accumulating things, to value experiences over possessions, and to cultivate inner richness rather than material wealth. Simplicity is not emptiness, it is spaciousness. It is the freedom to breathe deeply, to live lightly, and to love without conditions. In letting go of the unnecessary, we discover what is truly essential. And in that discovery, we find a peace that no possession could ever offer, a peace that lives quietly within us, waiting to be remembered.
Letting go of desire. Finding freedom in surrender.
Desire is like a flame. It burns brightly, promising warmth and fulfillment. But if left unchecked, it can consume us from within. In Buddhist teachings, desire is not merely about wanting material things. It's about clinging, grasping, and believing that happiness lies somewhere outside of ourselves. The Buddha taught that desire is one of the root causes of suffering. And yet, we often find ourselves chasing it endlessly, believing that if we just get that one thing, more money, more success, more love, we will finally be at peace. There is a story of a man who was obsessed with wealth. No matter how much he accumulated, it never felt like enough. One day he met a wise elder who asked him to hold a handful of sand. "Now squeeze it tightly," the elder said. As the man gripped it, the sand began slipping through his fingers. "The more you hold on," the elder said gently, "the more you lose." In that moment, the man realized that his constant striving was actually pushing happiness further away. He was gripping life so tightly that he was missing the peace that comes from simply letting go. Detaching from desire doesn't mean we stop caring or give up on our dreams. It means we stop being ruled by them. We learn to act with intention, not obsession. To pursue what matters without being defined by outcomes. And when things don't go our way, we meet life with acceptance instead of resistance. When we let go of attachments to people, things, and even identities, we make space for something deeper: stillness, clarity, and peace. We are no longer on a roller coaster of highs and lows. Instead, we find steady ground beneath our feet. In surrender, there is strength. In detachment, there is freedom. And in that freedom, we discover a happiness that doesn't fade, a joy that arises from within and asks for nothing in return. The power of gratitude. Seeing abundance in every moment. Gratitude is a doorway to joy. Not the fleeting kind that comes and goes, but a deep, abiding sense of peace that grows from within. The Buddha once said, "Let us rise up and be thankful. If we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. If we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful." These simple words remind us that no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always something to be grateful for. Too often, our minds are conditioned to focus on what's missing. We compare, we complain, and we forget how much we already have. But when we pause and shift our attention, even for a moment, to what is present and good, our entire experience changes. Gratitude softens the heart, calms the mind, and reconnects us to life's quiet blessings. It doesn't take grand events to awaken gratitude. Sometimes it's the warmth of sunlight on your face, the sound of a friend's voice, or the breath moving gently through your body. These small, often unnoticed moments are where joy lives, not in some distant future, but here, now. Gratitude also helps us navigate hardship with more grace. When life doesn't go as planned, gratitude reminds us that growth is still happening, that even pain can carry a hidden gift. It teaches us to see challenges not as punishments, but as part of the human journey, meaningful, necessary, and filled with lessons. When we cultivate gratitude as a daily practice, we train the mind to see abundance rather than lack. We begin to understand that happiness isn't found by adding more to our lives, but by appreciating what's already there. And in this awareness, our hearts open, and peace, like a quiet river, begins to flow. Meditation, the daily practice of inner stillness. In a world filled with constant noise, motion, and distraction, meditation offers a rare and sacred gift: stillness. It is not just a practice for monks in distant temples, but a gentle invitation for all of us to return to ourselves. The Buddha taught that the mind, when quieted, becomes clear like a still lake, able to reflect truth, beauty, and peace. There is a story of a young monk who once asked his teacher, "How can I find peace?" The teacher smiled and replied, "Sit still, breathe, let go of everything, and listen." At first, the monk struggled. His thoughts raced, his body fidgeted, and silence felt overwhelming. But day by day, with patience and devotion, he began to experience something extraordinary. Beneath the surface noise of his mind, he discovered a calm and steady presence, one that had always been there, waiting to be heard. This is the power of meditation. It is not about stopping thoughts or escaping reality. It is about becoming aware of our breath, our emotions, our habits, and the fleeting nature of all things. With each session, even if only for a few minutes, we create space in our lives for clarity, healing, and perspective. Meditation helps us respond to life with wisdom instead of reaction. It teaches us to observe our emotions without being consumed by them. In silence, we rediscover our inner voice, the one untouched by chaos, fear, or doubt. When practiced daily, meditation becomes more than a habit. It becomes a refuge, a place we can return to at any moment, no matter what life brings. Over time, the peace we cultivate on the cushion begins to ripple into every area of our lives: how we speak, how we love, how we live. In the stillness, we don't find something new. We simply remember what has always been within us: peace, presence, and the quiet joy of just being.
The middle way, walking the path of balance and true happiness. At the heart of the Buddha's teachings lies a timeless truth. Lasting happiness is found not in extremes, but in balance. This is the essence of the middle way, a path of moderation, mindfulness, and harmony. It is neither indulgence in pleasure nor denial of life's joys, but the gentle art of living with wisdom and awareness. The Buddha himself discovered this truth after years of both luxury and severe asceticism. Neither brought him peace. Only when he embraced the middle way did he find awakening. This path teaches us to approach life not with rigid control or careless abandon, but with gentle steadiness, choosing what nourishes the soul without becoming attached to it. In today's world, where everything pushes us to go faster, do more, and be more, the middle way invites us to slow down. It reminds us that we don't need to have everything figured out, and we don't need to swing from one extreme to another. True happiness comes when we walk with balance, in our thoughts, our actions, our relationships, and even in how we treat ourselves. This balance allows space for kindness without self-sacrifice, discipline without rigidity, ambition without obsession, and rest without guilt. It is a way of being that honors both our humanity and our spirit. When we bring together all the teachings, living in the present,
practicing compassion, embracing simplicity, letting go of desire, cultivating gratitude, and meditating daily. The middle way becomes not just a concept, but a lived experience. It becomes the ground we walk on, the compass we follow, and the quiet rhythm of a fulfilled life. As you walk your own path, may you remember that happiness is not something to be chased, it is something to be remembered. It is already within you, waiting to awaken through balance, awareness, and love. May your journey be peaceful, your heart be light, and your life be filled with the joy that only presence can bring. May these teachings bring you lasting peace and joy. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights on Buddhist wisdom and how to live a peaceful and fulfilling life. Wishing you a peaceful and joyful journey ahead.